Funny story. I was out late last night, so I ended up going to bed late and didn't sleep in, so I was pretty tired when I started my day. Drank coffee, had my member Q&A, which is great, by the way, if you're thinking about it. Did some work calls, started getting on client calls. After about 3, I had a break for an hour, and I noticed I was feeling pretty weird, like really tired, but kind of like a raw nervous system, like noises I was hearing outside felt weird. And I was like, I really need to take a nap in my break. But then I tried to nap and I couldn't nap. So I'm like, maybe I'll run because like something's really off. Like I feel funny. And I called a friend and was like, I feel like I'm about to like lose my mind. Like something's going on. I feel so weird in my body. I have no idea what's happening, whatever. I go out, I try to run. My friend had to go. He's like, I'll check on you. Try to run. After a while, I call in another friend of mine who works in a very similar way to me, and I texted her being like, are you free? I have an emergency consult for me. She gets on the phone. She's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense, Rachel. You've been like on the move. You've been traveling so much. You bought a house in the middle of this. You're doing so much. Your poor little girl. Like you should tend to her. And I had like maybe 25 minutes before my next session. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go home and I like shower and I like jump and shake and I turn on Kenny Loggins' Return to Pooh Corner. But I'm like, something's fucked up. She was like, it feels like fear. And fear is very hard to move for those of you who have been trying to work with your fear. I get it. But it was just like so physical, which feelings are physical, as I say. It's just very confusing for me. And I was like, I start canceling plans, cancel with this person Thursday, that person Sunday. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do my training. It's all too much. Anyway, I tell my friend whose house I was going to after my last 2 clients, which went really well, by the way. I was going over to someone's house for dinner and I was like, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come. Like, any chance you want to bring the dinner to my house? It feels like too much. She's like, no, I'm sick. Don't. Like, so I was like, okay, I can come. I go to dinner, I hang out for a little bit. And then something on the way home, I don't know what it was. Maybe because it was reminded me, this whole experience reminded me of the one time I accidentally sat on a bee in my house, but didn't know it was a bee because it was inside. And like, why was there a bee on there? And it turns out I'm kind of allergic. It made me feel like I was on drugs. Suddenly I was like, those chocolates I ate, did those have mushrooms in them? And sure enough, about 6 months ago, I bought some chocolates, which were actually basically microdosed, but I had multiple squares of the microdosed chocolates, which probably would have been fine. I don't even usually work with that medicine in any way, but because I didn't know that's what it was, and I was having such a weird physical reaction, and I was underslept, and it was really strong, I basically thought I was losing my mind. So as soon as I realized I was accidentally tripping, I was elated, felt much better about my overall sanity, and the fact that, even in that situation, moving my feelings helped me go back to work. But Jesus Christ, am I glad it was just a whoopsie.